Ever since I first came online back in 2003 to teach manifesting skills to people all around the world, one of the biggest problems that I have been asked to solve is how to make manifesting consistent. Because over and over and over again, I keep hearing from people that they've had some success with manifesting and yet find it unreliable. And so they're looking for help how to make it consistent, because honestly, we've all had some experience where we wanted something to happen and then it happened. Whether we put conscious effort into making it happen or not doesn't matter, because we've all had some success in manifesting what we want into our lives. So this idea of how to make manifesting consistent seems to be one of the biggest requests that is still coming up over and over and over again from people first finding my material. And so if you're brand new to what I teach, this is the perfect video for you. And I hope that the previous videos in the series have already helped you learn how to better manifest the things that you want into your life. And so this video is just going to be kind of a crowning touch, the cherry on top, that will help you see that manifesting consistently is not that difficult. So the first thing that I want to suggest is that the manifesting process itself, what we just talked about in the previous video on the art of manifesting, the manifesting process itself can be used to help you manifest greater manifesting abilities. Let that sink in for a moment. You can manifest an experience of being a master manifester. Someone who can manifest anything and everything they ever wanted in life in a blink of an eye. This happens to be one of the processes that I just happened to do early on in my development. And I think that it's one of the primary reasons why I have developed the ability to manifest things so consistently, because I manifested the skills of manifesting. And that's another thing that I really want to point out here, is that manifesting is a set of skills. It's not a formula. It's not like a calculator, which we talked about in a different video. It's not like a calculator where you just punch in the numbers, hit the right key, and you've got your instant results. Manifesting isn't like that. It's more of an art form. And as an art form, it's important to know that while anybody can produce art, I mean, the example that I often use is that anybody can dance. You just get out on the dance floor and you move to the music. Anybody can dance. But it's only those who are trained with the proper skills who get hired to perform in musicals, who get hired to perform in movies, who get hired for their dancing ability. And so, and dancing is just one example. I mean, athletes, professional athletes, you don't get into the Super Bowl just because you play weekend football. Amateurs don't make it to the top. Professionals make it to the top. Whether it's dancing, whether it's athletics, whether it's music, whether it's writing, whether it's any kind of art form you can imagine. The ones who make it to the top are the ones who put in time and effort to practice, 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 and practice some more. They put thousands of hours into the development of the skills involved in their particular art form. Manifesting to some degree is the same thing. It's an art form. And the more you do it, the better you will be at it. Another example that I like to use is weightlifting. And in a way, manifesting can be compared to weightlifting, because in manifesting, we want to focus our minds to an incredibly intense degree. And that can be difficult for some people. That could be the equivalent of lifting a weight twice what you're capable of lifting. And you can only lift so much at any given point in time. Someone who can only lift 50 pounds, if they try to lift 100 pounds, it's not going to happen. In manifesting, we have to focus our minds to an incredibly intense degree. We would like to bring up as many of the sensations and emotions that we would experience having received the manifesting result we would like to create. And sometimes the idea of visualization, seeing pictures inside your mind, feels a little difficult for some people. The idea of hearing sounds that would be present in that experience, hearing the voice of someone you care about congratulating you for a job well done, can be a little difficult for some people. Feeling an emotion of absolute wonder and awe and just incredible, oh my goodness, this is so wonderful. That can be a stretch for some people. And so, in order to truly be a master manifester, you need to have certain skills. You need to be able to perform at a higher level. And when you can perform at that higher level, it's like a weightlifter who can lift, say, 500 pounds. Lifting that 100-pound weight, that's easy. I can do this all day long. Obviously, that's not me. But a professional weightlifter who is used to lifting very heavy weights, if you hire them to help you move the furniture out of the house, it's easy. It's easy. Just one piece after another, no problem whatsoever. Hire the next door neighbor who has been sitting on the couch and watching TV for the last 10 years. That person's going to struggle. It's like, oh my goodness, this chair is just so heavy. I mean, can't we get a tool to do this? So when dealing with weights and physical strength, it's easy to identify that someone who has put in hours and hours and hours developing their muscles can do something very easily. But sometimes we forget that manifesting has its own set of muscles. They're not physical muscles, they're mental muscles. Focusing our minds to one thing and one thing only for a period of time, whether it's for 30 seconds or 30 minutes. For some people, just focusing their mind on one thing without any distracting thoughts for 5 seconds can be a challenge. Doing it for 30 seconds, they need work to get there. So, in this idea of making manifesting consistent, there are 2 factors that I'm going to suggest. One, I started with, you can use the manifesting process itself to manifest the experience of being a master manifester. And then that will bring together all of the energies, events, influences that will make it easier for you to develop the skills necessary, to develop that faith that is necessary to truly manifest your desires into physical reality. Because that, again, I've said this a number of times already, the most important factor is that you believe and have a full confidence and faith that you can manifest what you want into your life. Once you have that belief in place, once you know beyond any shadow of a doubt that this is going to work for you, the rest of it becomes easy. It truly does. If you just work on that one thing, I am a master manifester. I can do this. Work on that one thing, and it will become so much easier. Now, yes, if you truly want to reach the top levels of manifesting and become what could be considered a professional at this, you're going to want to do more. You're going to want to get into specific exercises to develop your focus, exercises to develop your ability to visualize sight, sound, touch, taste, and emotions. You want to perform exercises to develop that faith and to increase it step by step by step by step by step by step by step until it is so far beyond anything that you could ever comprehend before. And that's really what stops a lot of people. They don't know what's possible. They don't know that it's possible to focus on just a single thing for hours and days. It is possible to do that. It's not based on genetics. It's not based on chemistry in your brain. It's based on practice, 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 getting used to it. For the most part, that's really all that I have for you in this video. I can offer you some suggestions on exercises that you can do to develop the skills of focusing, to develop the skills of feeling and visualizing and imagining all the sensations and elements that would be part of a future experience. And yes, I can also suggest the same exercise I did before for developing your faith, that faith anchoring. Imagine something that you already know to be an absolute fact. If it happened to be some physical object in your environment, whether it's a desk that you're sitting at, whether it's the computer that you're looking at, the screen that you're looking at, whether it's the tree or a rock or something in your environment, notice how you feel about recognizing their current reality. And notice how it feels different from just thinking about something fantasy. It's like, oh yeah, there's Tinkerbell floating through the air over there. It's like, no, that's not true. Notice the difference in feelings between fact and fantasy. And then focus on that feeling of faith. A catchphrase that I'm developing here. Focus on that feeling of faith. And imagine that feeling of faith growing stronger and stronger and stronger and more intense to the point where it stretches your ability to imagine it any further, and hold it as long as you can at that point. And just like anything else, just like a muscle, just like a rubber balloon, you blow up a balloon and let it sit at that full capacity for a period of time, and then things kind of relax. And you're able to go further. It's like stretching your muscles. You might be able to stretch only so far, but if you hold yourself at that limit and just let your body settle, let your body relax, then you find that you can stretch a little bit further and a little bit further and a little bit further and a little bit further. And that's how some people become contortionists, gymnasts, so flexible that it boggles the mind of any normal person. So again, I just mentioned the exercise for developing faith. The exercise for developing focus is really just doing things that require focus. Do mental math, add a series of numbers in your head. Write out a series of numbers on a piece of paper, and they can be 2-digit numbers, 3-digit numbers, whatever you think you can handle at this point. And then just look at it, do the math in your head, write it down, and then check yourself with a calculator to verify that you got it right. and then keep pushing it. Start doing a series of 5 3-digit numbers. Add those in your head. Check it with a calculator to verify you got it right. And then start doing multiplication. Start multiplying 4-digit numbers in your head. And keep pushing that, and you'll eventually develop an ability to do some amazing math in your head. But you'll also be developing your ability to focus on a task long enough to see it through. And it doesn't have to be mathematics. It can just simply be awareness exercises. When you go into an office building, as an example, you usually see the different fluorescent lights across the ceiling. How many lights are there on the ceiling? Are there like 15 rows of lights across one way and 6 rows of lights down the other way? And just notice that. When you walk up a flight of stairs, how many steps did you step on? Awareness exercises is an exercise in developing focus. These are some very simple things that you can do to develop your ability to focus. Developing the feelings, the sensations. Again, I offered one exercise already. Find a small object like a watch or your phone or just a rock on the ground. Just pick it up, look at it, memorize the details, close your eyes, imagine those same details, open your eyes, verify that what you saw inside your mind is the same as what you see physically. Feel the textures of whatever it is that you're dealing with. Recreate those textures inside your mind. When you're eating a meal, take one bite of the food. Notice the sensations that are within your mouth. Notice the texture of what you are eating. Notice the solidity as you are chewing it. Notice the flavors as they dance along your tongue. And then after you've swallowed that bite, mentally recreate it inside your mind. Take another bite mentally and experience that with as much sensation and detail as the one that you just had physically. And then take another bite physically. Notice that, memorize it, pay attention to the details, and then recreate those details in your imagination. Do it over and over and over again, and you will develop the ability to visualize things in intense detail. One of the examples that I sometimes talk about is when I first got into digital photography. I would bring the photos that I took on the camera into the computer, and then I would be checking details. I would be zooming in to the individual pixels of the image and see how much detail did this camera catch, and then zoom back out again to see the entire picture. Zoom into a different part of the image, check the details there, zoom it back out again. Do that for picture after picture after picture. And then I noticed, and I wasn't even intending for this, I wasn't using that as a visualization exercise, but I did notice that after a week of doing that with so many different pictures, oh my goodness, the visions inside my mind, when I tried to imagine something, it was just so much more clear and sharp and detailed than it ever was before, just because I was communicating to my deeper mind that those details were important. And so by focusing on the details, your subconscious mind, your inner mind that helps you see those details or hear those details or imagine the sensations, when you pay attention to the details and you tell your subconscious mind that those details are important, guess what? When you go into a manifestation process and imagine the thing that you would like to manifest in incredible detail, those incredible details become available to you. And so these are some of the basic exercises that you can do to develop your manifesting muscles so that you can focus on what it is that you want to manifest with enough clarity and detail to make it feel like a real experience within yourself. And by also exercising that faith, bringing up that feeling of confidence and reality and truth, and this is a fact of reality, whatever it is that you're thinking about, by bringing that up over and over and over again, it becomes so much easier to call up at will. And when it's easy to call up at will, it becomes easy to manifest your visions into reality. So with that, I have pretty much answered the most burning question that I've gotten in the last 20 years. And it really is a simple answer. Practice, 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 exercise, 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 push yourself to the limit over and over and over again, and you will push the limits. And you will become a much better manifester in the process. So I don't want to end this video series with that, because even though that is pretty much everything you need to know in order to master the art and science of manifesting, I would not be doing you as much good if I left it there. And so in my next video, I am going to create a couple more videos here. In the next video, I'm going to talk about a system of development, a system of training that I have developed that can help you master the art and science of manifesting much quicker than just doing random exercises. And so in the next video, I'm going to talk about a process that I call harmonic augmentation. And this is a way of training the different aspects of manifesting in an organized approach that can help you master the process so much quicker than ever before. So I hope you continue to join me with these videos. And if so, I'll see you in the next one. Until then, be blessed, my friend.